Hello friends, welcome to my channel and today we are going to learn about Angular CLI. For Angular CLI to be available you need to install it from npm and once it is installed you can proceed with the further video. If you don't know how to do that, then refer to my previous video and I will put that video's link in my description. So let's go ahead and check if the Angular CLI is installed or not. Okay, so this is here. I will write ng hyphen hyphen version if this is what you get. If this is what you get, then Angular CLI is already installed on your system. Very good. Now here you can see the version of the Angular and uh, that is 8. Now we are going to learn about ng new command. So when I write ng new, it takes a project name, that is I'm going to give my app. So it is going to it's going to ask you if you require routing. I will put it as routing, yes. Then it is going to ask if you want CSS and what kind of CSS. Yes, I would be putting as SCSS. Now it has generated all the basic code for us. Now it is fetching all the dependencies and you'll be able to see all the dependencies in the node module. Once your ng new command is done, so you'd be able to see your prompt again. Now let us check what has happened with the ng new command. I'm going to put as ls over here. So it says my app. We have a my app folder. Let's go inside of it and see what it is. So there are several things which have been auto generated for us. So it has source, then it has tsconfig.json, then we have package.json, we have environment files. So let's go over here and check once. Yeah, this is my folder, my app, and here are all the files which were auto generated for us. So this was ng new command. Let us go and check the next command, that is ngserve. So what ngserve does is it helps our project to be served on localhost. Okay, so when I say ngserve, it is going to package everything in the app and it is going to host it on a port. So here by default port is 4200 and let's see what is happening. Here you can see that it has checked the 4200 port. Yeah, it is saying that live development server is listening on port on localhost port 4200. Let's check if it is the case. So localhost 4200, and yes, our project is live. You can see my app is running over here. So here you will ask that if the port can we modify the port from 420 to something else, then yes, you can do that. So let me say ngserve hyphen hyphen port 4300 or whichever you like. So it is going to now host the web app on the 4300 port. Yeah, it's building now, and we have our project hosted on 4300. Now let us check if this is running. No, 4200 is freed now and it is no more and there's nothing more hosted on 4200. Now let us check on 4300. Yes, there is an app which is my app running on 4300. So this was ng serve. Now let's see what is ng generate component. So in general, ng generate is a very vast command. It supports all of these operations, all of these components which can be made. So ng generate supports building of class, component, directive, anything you say, name it, like modules, pipe, service, anything that you name it, it would be able to generate. You would mainly be requiring three things from generate on a daily basis. That would be component, then module, and service. So let's do a demo of the same. I'm going to stop my server. I'm going to write as ng generate component, and let's say I'm going to put it as school. So it has generated four files over here. So it generates CSS file, HTML file, spec, and a component file. So here in the app folder it has generated one school. So you can see it has generated the app, it has updated the app module file also. So all the things which are necessary for the component to be modified in the project, it is taken care of by Angular CLI. Yeah, so going ahead, this was a ng generate component. Now if you want your component to be made in a certain folder, so that is also possible. You have to put it as ng generate component library, wait, school slash library, and I'm expecting the library to be generated in the school folder. Yeah, so you can see the library component is now present in school folder. So in this way you can have ng generate of component. Now let's go ahead with ng generate of module. So I want a module in my school, so I would be putting as ng generate module school. So it is going to check if the school folder is already there. Yes, it is there. Then it is going to put as put a in module file in the school folder itself. Now let's see, I am going to put a test module ng generate module test. So we don't have a test folder, so it is going to create a test folder for us, and the modules will be present over there. Test module will be present over there. Now this was for the module. Yeah, before we go ahead, for modules also you can do something like this, which we did with school and library. You can also suggest a folder where you need to keep your module. Okay, so going ahead, we are now going to see how to make services. It is pretty simple, you might have guessed it. Now ng generate service. So let's say I want a service of test module. So it is generated outside of the test. Now you need to see that the test services are something which are not related to component. These are mainly used for HTTP calls. So it is generated outside of the test folder. So in this way you can generate your services. Now let's see what else is in our package. So we have ng test. So ng test is to if you write your unit test over here in ng test will be taking care of it. Ng test, yeah. So ng test is basically the unit testing component supported by Angular, and it uses Karma for it. Yeah, so here we have our unit test running. Yeah, it is running right now as I don't have any. Okay, so here we have 7 specs which passed, and there are 0 failures. Now, how did I come up with 7 specs already? Because I had created my project right now only. Yeah, so let me show you. So when I do a ng generate component, it creates something called as spec files. So spec files have unit tests already written for our project, and that is how we get the code coverage of our project. Yeah, so going ahead, now we have ng-lent for ng-lent command. So Angular supports lenting as well. So if I write ng-lent, it's going to give us if there is any lenting problem in our project. What do you mean by lenting is some uh, good practices are not followed. Okay, so once the ng-lent is done, we have ng-build. So you can do a ng-build. It is generally for production. Uh, so this is how you do ng-build, and once the ng-build command is run, you can see there would be a disk folder over here which you can put it in any server and run it. So it is building right now. Yeah, you can now see that there is a disk folder over here. So it has packaged everything, and then it has put it on disk folder, and our ng build prod command has been run successfully. So if there are any build errors, this build command will fail and you have to fix it, and then you have to build it again. So this was about ng build. Now let's see what is ng doc. So let's say I want to look up some documentation regarding some component. Let's say I'm going to look up for HTTP client. HTTP client is something which is used for HTTP calls. So I'm going to do ng doc HTTP client. So it is going to open your browser, and it is going to search for the Angular component on the web, and we are going to see that we can it has searched for ng client in its web app in the documentation folder. Yeah, so this was about ng doc. So these are the main ng CLI commands that you would be requiring, and if you want to know about further commands, so you just put it in the comment section. And I hope you have liked this video, you have learned a lot from this video. So please click a thumbs up button, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye.